Okay, so we're back here at Leslie Ann's Flying School, and once again you can locate this area in the Buskers Plaza area. There's a large sign that says Leslie Ann's Flying School takeoff point, and there are two windsocks close to that sign, and the one closer to the sign has airplanes that are a little bit more challenging to fly. So we're going to pick the windsock that's further away from the sign than the other one, and I'll come closer to it so you can see again it has on the side click me. So we click this in order to res a plane. When we click the click me, we get this menu here with an option. It says dogfights, bombings, SOP W Camel, that stands for SOP with Camel, Fokker DRI, and Red Baron. And I find the SOP with Camel is one of the easiest planes to fly. So we're going to go ahead and click that button, the one that says SOP W Camel. And you'll see that the plane is starting to res, it's being created. So in this video we're going to see how we might handle problem situations that arise when we fly. And I think we can kind of sum up the remedy primarily in the words don't panic. So don't panic, and typically we might encounter problems when we cross region boundaries and we seem to momentarily lose control of the aircraft. So the trick is to do nothing until we have some sense that stability has been returned. So I'm just going to res another plane again, SOP with Camel, and we'll see right away. I'm going to put my mouse on the plane, right click the plane, and then on the menu that comes up I'm going to click fly, and right away you'll see that we're not stable, and the trick is not to do anything. So here we go. So you see we're not stable at this point, but I'm doing nothing here. I'm not touching the controls. I'm just patiently waiting for things to stabilize. And indeed it looks like we're stable now, so let's fly. You've seen in other videos that I'm gradually turning the plane around using the right arrow key. The right and left arrow keys on the keyboard make the plane turn. The arrow pointing away from us brings the nose down, and the arrow pointing towards us brings the nose up. And then page up and page down are the throttles. Page up will increase the speed, page down decrease the speed. So I'm going to press the page up key to start the engine up. Now I'm not doing anything at the moment. Now I'm going to press the arrow key that points towards me, and that brings my nose up so that I have a gradual rate of climb here. And I'm climbing. Now I'm going to level out by pressing the arrow key that points away from me. That's like pushing a joystick in a plane forward away from myself, and that brings the nose down. I'm going to give myself a little more speed, and I'm going to bring the nose down again, pressing the arrow key for the forward arrow key. I'm going to level out. So it's always good to have a mini-map open, so I go World Mini-Map, and I'm now going to level out by pressing the nose down. Now I'm going to deliberately, well, first of all, before I do that, as we see the edges, the boundaries here of the region, normally you would definitely want to avoid those because you are going to get into a problem from which you can't recover. And in a moment I'll deliberately put myself into that position. So I'm flying towards those boundaries, but not right at the edge at the moment. I'm staying well away from them. And I can see them when my nose is, and when I'm in level flight or my nose is down a little, then I can see those boundaries. If I'm climbing like this, then it's harder to see them. But I do have my map open, and I can also see the edges, those boundary edges, on the map here. So right now I'm flying well away from those edges, and therefore I'm not anticipating any problems. Now, somewhere along here, you might just have seen it then, there was a little jog in the plane. That's where we crossed a boundary between two touching regions. And again, when you feel yourself going through a region, do not make any changes. Just leave the controls where they are. Your hands are off at that point. So I'm going to come around, and we're going to go over in this direction. Now you might be able to see in the far direction we have a plane that was abandoned. It's just a little dot right now, and it's ahead of me, and it's been abandoned because someone went right to the edge of the region, and the plane they weren't able to regain control of the plane, and that certainly happens when you go to the very edge of the region. So what we would do when we hit the edge of a region like that is basically we have to click stand to de-res the plane, but we also need to be ready to fly at this point. So I'm going to be ready to not only stand but hit the home key as I go into this edge of the region. Just about to do it. So now at this point, oops, oh, I haven't lost control. Well, that's interesting. I was hoping I could lose control and show you. Let's try again. There's our long lost friend. And actually it's good if you can get the coordinates of this, if you have to abandon your plane. Really, if you stand, it should de-res. If you don't stand, it'll be stuck there. If you can get the coordinates from the bar at the top, the navigation bar, then you can send Zax a message, Zax Constantine, with those coordinates. So if you can copy those coordinates and then paste them, then he can adjust, he can remove the offending plane. Well, I'm flying too well here. So let's say that I'm in difficulties. What I would do then is click the stand key button, then immediately press home so that I'm flying. And now I've de-resed my plane by pressing the stand key. Oops. And I've gotten stuck here. So I'm going to teleport back to my original place, which is in Buskers Airfield, and all is well. So I hadn't been able to show the problem. I kind of simulated the problem for you. I fully expect to get stuck. Again, the trick is to stand so that you de-res your plane and then be ready with the flying by pressing the home key so that you don't damage your avatar. And then also, if your plane has not de-resed, try and get the coordinates of the plane from the slurl at the top. And what you do is you click the top bar, and then you right click that and you click copy, and then we can send an instant message. And I would do that by going communicate friends, and then I'd pick Zex Constantine and I am, and then I can paste in those coordinates and say there's an abandoned plane. And if I press enter, then that sends that. I've already sent him a message about the plane that's stuck up there already. Okay, so I hope that's helpful, and there's always a way. No need to panic. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.